as we work through this. Okay, so we're looking at building a Java application. Let me get that light off. With not super detailed requirements. What we want to do is, and this is Chapter 18 lab. We're building a shopping cart system. Remember, we're going to be writing this up using examples from the book if it helps. But what we want to do is, when the program starts, it's going to read a list of prices of books. And the link that they gave you, I don't know why that keeps popping over to that other. The link that they gave you doesn't quite work. But I have uploaded the text file for you right here. So you have a text file, and you can even add books to that text file. And let's see what they don't give us a picture. We have to come up with a picture of what we're expecting, or what we want to put in design of our application here. All they say is we need to read this price of books, which is in this format. I actually removed the $sign from the text, the format of the book, so you don't have to worry about filtering out that $sign. You're going to have a title of a book separated by a comma. No commas in the titles of the book at this point. We could think about that later on and how we would handle commas in the title of the book. But for now, the only comma is going to be between the title of the book and the price of the book. Okay, and now here's the specifications for your application. It's not super detailed. All it says is when your application starts, it's going to read the contents of that text file, and we're going to keep a list component. All right, so we're keeping that in a list. So there's going to be a list of the titles. You can decide where on your screen that's going to be. And what the user is going to need to be able to do is select a title from the list and add it to a shopping cart. So you'll probably have to select it and then click a button to add to shopping cart. And the shopping cart is going to be showing up in another list. And we're going to want to allow remove items from the shopping cart or clear the shopping cart, and also check out. And when the user checks out, it's going to calculate and display the subtotal of all the books in the shopping cart. So let's think about, first of all, how about we just go with, we'll just draw this up in, what should we draw it up with? I'm going to draw it in, I'm going to go use Google Slides. So I'm going to go over here and create a Google slide in my course folder. Could have used PowerPoint too, but Google Slides, it's on the cloud for me then, and I don't have to worry about tracking down my PowerPoint file. Okay, so create a folder here. We'll put it with our book files. And I'll create a new slide just to draw up my plan for the GUI. So I'll call this cis315 Chapter 18 Design. And I'll just make this a blank slide. And now let's draw out, where's my blank slide? There's a blank slide. Let's draw out what we'll want to be in our diagram. Okay, so we're going to have a list, and if I'm thinking about border layout, I'm thinking maybe a list in the center of the list of books. That'll be book and then price. I'm going to somehow have to keep track of the price to go with the books. I suppose I could do that after I've selected them, find the price and calculate that. That's my coding style. We're going to need some buttons, right? I'm going to be able to select a title from the list and add it to the shopping cart. So we'll need an add button. So we'll shape our buttons a little differently, and we can decide where to put them. Where do you want to put an add to my cart button? Thinking of border layout, I have left and right, top and bottom. Okay, so add. So add to cart. And we can always rearrange these, so I'll just make a few of them. There's going to be add to cart. There's going to be remove. So I'm going to have to display my shopping cart somewhere. So here's my, I'll call this my list of books. And somewhere else is going to be my shopping cart. So I'll call this my shopping cart. Book 1 and a price. Book 2, etc. So I suppose I can decide I might want to have like a running price. Add, remove, and then how about a checkout? And we can decide where to put that here. And some welcome message up at the top. So list of books, we'll make a title. It should have a title. Bookstore. Buy more books. So about 3 buttons, 2 list boxes, one that will be added to as I add things, and anything else. Oh, there we want to clear. So remove, and we'll have a similar one, clear. You can always do this just on paper by hand. You don't have to use a drawing package. Some people, because it's not super complicated, can start drawing it right up in the Eclipse window builder. As you do bigger projects and you get more complex, you'll sit down with your group of programmers and you'll have regular meetings and establish some sort of system procedure for discussion and proposals. You have imagine having a customer now that's giving you these specs. You'll sit with your customer and just brainstorm with the customer. Hey, would you like it to look like this? And lay it out. We used to actually use Visual Basic just as our layout, and we would just lay out an example prototype. Nothing would happen when you click the buttons, but it would actually, yeah, give you a good idea. And the window builder is almost as easy to do as you know, doing this. You could just lay this out in window builder and say, hey, is this something that you like? If they say no, I want the buttons differently, well, you could always just rearrange and say, oh, okay, how do you like that? Visual Basic is another programming language. It has it was probably one of the first Microsoft languages, made it easy to lay out the windows like the window builder does for you now. NetBeans was the next one that came along, made it easy to graphically lay out your screens. If you're working with a customer that maybe doesn't want to push them through installing Eclipse, you could share it just as a PowerPoint or as a Google slide like this. So I'm thinking of something like that. Let's review our requirements. They're going to have a checkout. Oh, and there's going to have to be a calculation display of the subtotal, etc. So let's have, how about we'll do another, maybe it'll be like a text area that will display, once they finally check out, I'll have another checkout page. And I guess I'll just make it a rectangle. They're going to be the summary of their all the books listed, prices, and then total with tax. So there's going to be some calculation once they do the checkout. So the checkout actually might be the one that has the most code. And I can rearrange these things here. Maybe center them. This is just my prototype. Doesn't have to look super great. When we come over to Eclipse now, we'll follow this kind of structure. Okay, let's now think about Eclipse. We're going to have list boxes. They're going to take up probably a larger part of the screen because they might be long titles. There's going to be a set of buttons, and then my order summary, along with my shopping cart. And there'll be labels too. We'll probably want to label this shopping cart, and that'll be a separate label next to my item. Alright, so let's pop over to Eclipse and get started. Make sure I don't have Eclipse running already. No, I don't have it running already. Don't know why Steam keeps wanting to fire up. Installed Steam a while ago to make something. It keeps signing in. Okay, launching Eclipse. I'm going to start a new project, and we're going to try a different layout manager this time. Here's my old project. I'm going to close that and start a new project. And let me get my... Sorry for the glitch in the recording. It stopped at about 11 minutes. So we built up this. We have a JList inside of a scroll pane, a JScroll pane, another JList inside of a JScroll pane. This is a text area, and these buttons. Now let's get that first part working, where instead of taking this list of books that I had added just by hand, by going to the model and filling it in with items, we want to fill our shopping cart. We want to fill our inventory from that text file. And that will be something that happens at the start of the program. There is, I suppose, the event that we could associate with it could be the event associated with the JPanel. He probably has an event startup, but we don't need to do that. Let's just put it at the top of the well, not at the top. It has to happen after all these items have been displayed. So let's go back to the source code and figure out where do we need to put the code to populate our inventory, which here it's called list inventory. If you don't have all those other buttons, you don't have to worry about them right now, but let's at least get the inventory list to be populated from that text box. From the text file. Well, one thing I need is that text file to actually be in my project, or it's not going to work. So I'm going to double click back on my tab so I can see my project view. I'm going to drag, here's my project down here. I'm going to drag my text file into my project. So that text file that's available on the assignment, we download that text file, and then we're going to then drag it over into our project. So right now I'm just going to drag it down into my downloads folder, or save it in my downloads folder. And then I'll browse over there, and I'm going to drag it into Eclipse. So I'll bring up the file browser. Now my file browser isn't showing up. File Explorer. Over here in my toolbar somewhere. Here my toolbar is finally showing up. There it is. File Explorer. Bring up a File Explorer. Go to my downloads. Drag that file I just downloaded, book prices, and I'm just going to drag it over to my project right there and copy the file. Alright, so now I'm ready to add the events to my code. I want to actually add the code that populates my list inventory. So list inventory is the name of the JList. that I'm going to be putting the text into. So let's see, where would I put that code? Here I've got my creation of all the items. And in the main, here's the main that creates the frame. Well, all the variables right now, they are referenced from creating the J-frame. So in the constructor of the J-frame, after all these things have been created, down at the bottom here is where I'm going to put the code to populate my list of items, populate my inventory. So I'm going to put here, read the text file, books, and populate the list inventory. Before reading from the file, let's just see if I can know what to do to put items into the text file. Then I'll actually read from the text file. So let's just do a simple loop for int I equals 0, I is less than, how about we'll put 20 items in our inventory, I++. All right. The name of my book is going to be book, title, and then a number. So how do I put something inside of that list inventory? Remember the name? Oh, what happened here? Oh, notice here I have a compile error. So if I go to design, look at everything's gone because I had a compile error. I can come up here. I see the name of that is list inventory. I can do list inventory dot add. Oh, but I need to clear what's in there first because I don't want to be adding to the list. I want to make a new list. So I'm going to do dot, is there a clear? There's clear selection. And I'm going to be doing multiple things inside this loop. So I'm going to put curly braces there. Clear selection. Now do list. Oh, I don't want to do that inside my loop. Silly me. That goes before I run my loop. I want to clear what's in there already. Now I want to do list inventory dot add. And let's just see if I can add a string. Let's call it book. This is title, book, and then add the I to it. Is it going to be that easy? And complaining here. Uh-oh. Is it add item? I might have it add. Oh, there's so many things I could add. Oh man, I thought it was going to be easier than this. List, I thought I could add that to my list. Oh, I got to look at a quick reference here. I thought it was just an add, JLists. Oh, I forgot. It wants, I think it wants an array. Let me check. Oh, add elements. Let's try add elements. No, it doesn't like add elements. Well, we'll continue this next time. Adding elements to our JList, I thought was going to be just a matter of doing an add element to it, but it's not. It's not working for me. I do that. That's not right. All right, we'll figure this with reading items from a file. So here's how to do a test population of a list we're going to replace this with and I'd rather use an array list, but he likes to take an array of items. So we're going to hand him an array of items after we've read them from the file. And we'll do that next time.